Hey, if you're a coach, you need to learn to schedule your day. Today's video is for you. I'm going to give you the top 5 ways to schedule your day as a coach. Now, I'm a person that leads other people. And if you're a coach and you do this, you understand you have to be a leader. And if you can't lead yourself, you had better not be thinking about leading other people, right? There's kind of like this unwritten rule that you should not teach people how to run the race until you have crossed the finish line yourself. Accomplish that thing, create that thing. If not, what happens is, well, your day gets thrown off, you're a mess and you're frantic, and then your clients get that energy, and then it's a weird situation that unfolds in an improper way. I found that the most value that I've ever been able to give as a coach came when I started structuring my life in ways that are they're discipline but freedom and within the discipline, right? Having the structure gives me freedom to be present, gives me freedom to organize my day and be where I need to be when I'm there. It gives me the ability to stay focused, right? If you can't do those things because you aren't scheduling things properly, well, then you can't be a great coach in the moments of. And also, you aren't doing what's necessary to learn outside of sessions that can then benefit clients in the future or even now, which is also tied to value. You're not as much of value to somebody if you haven't been to the place they're trying to get to. So you got to run the race, cross the finish line, accomplish something, and then you have to learn how to schedule your day to show up in a way that is of value to people, that benefits their lives. And so we got to start with you. And so we're going to start with you. Step 1, first part of this is you have to get clear, like really, really clear on your goals and then outline the highest priorities, right? So if you're going to be a coach and say, I'm going to teach people something, you as well have to have goals, right? Goals of what you believe are the things you must learn, the things you must complete to teach, the structure you must provide. There's got to be some outlining, and especially if you're in a solid coaching business, you have a process that your clients will go through. If you're winging it and just showing up and going, let's figure some things out today, then you're no better than somebody's glorified mom and dad. Like they could have got that from parents and they just need to have somebody give them some ad hoc ideas in coaching. You really got to have a plan, like a success path to guide people from the place they're at to the place they need to go. And that's got to be based upon something different than how you feel today. You have to have a pulse at all times of where you're at, where you're going, which means you must have goals set in place and outlined, the highest priorities to operate on. So what that looks like is essentially stepping back and going, what ideas belong, what ideas don't? First piece of it, what ideas belong, what ideas don't? Should you write the book, make the podcast, record that? Should you do videos like this? Or what are the things you should be doing? And then put them in the priority necessary to execute on to where you are value and service in your clients. If you're not doing this, you're just doing things and no one knows if it's good things and it could be wasted time and energy. So you have to figure out how to be able to organize your goals and your ideas in the manner necessary to execute on them in the highest priority order. One way of looking at this, it's a weird metaphor, but I had this thought of I like dogs. I got a couple dogs and I want my dogs to be healthy, happy, and safe. Then imagine if you had all these ideas that are like a whole bunch of dogs. You love them the same way as you would your animals, and they're in this little pen. And if they're all sleeping, it's fine. All the ideas are fine. They're not doing anything, no big deal. But the moment one of those ideas wakes up and starts playing, if there are too many ideas, too many dogs in a pen, not enough space, something has to take a hit. Like the space takes a hit. One of the dogs getting kicked in the face. There's no room to move. They're all just freaking out, right? That's how it feels when you have too many ideas as a coach. And that energy gets kicked off to clients. What has to happen is a couple things. Not too fun, the first one, but you have to put some dogs to sleep. Some ideas need to be killed off. Some ideas should never see the light of day. Let's just be honest. Like when I was in college, I liked car stereos, and I had this idea to open up a car stereo place. It was called Trux's Trunks. Right? Cool idea. But it's an idea that over time, nah, man, that one's got to go. There's literally no place in my life for me to own a car stereo dealership and be selling stereos and putting those things in. Good idea, had to go. But while it was in the space of my mind, it was cluttering up space for the other ideas to blossom and grow. Right? So I had to do this thing I didn't want to do is, get rid of the idea. I'll never do it. Never going to happen. But it gave space for the other ideas to either sleep or be present. Other thing, step 2 is some ideas that may belong, you need to keep them asleep. Not put to sleep, keep them sleeping, alive but sleeping. They're there, they're in the pen, but they're not being woken up to play just yet. Those ideas are going to sit where they're at, stay dormant until it's the right time. You got to sometimes push these ideas a little farther out. Yeah, the book would be nice to get written right now, but maybe that's a 2-year idea, 2-month far out idea. Like you don't got to do it right now and hold on to it in this space, which allows you to have more room for your higher priority ideas to be awake, to be organized, and to be executed on. So start with that first piece is prioritize the goals in the order you're going to execute. Get rid of ideas that don't need to be there so you can focus on ones that do. Number 2 is write down what results would make for a successful day. If you're a coach, there should be specific things you create and that you build and that you do and you lead into. And those can't be predicated upon what you think's supposed to get done overall. Like they got to be based on what's supposed to happen today. You have to structure your day. And in doing so, it may mean you don't work on something today. You have this idea it's got to be done, but maybe I give myself space to work on this higher priority thing before that thing, and that thing's going to be next week. Maybe not till next month, but you have to make sure you organize it. And what that looks like is writing down the specific things for today and then focusing on that. Maybe today is going to be a Reels day. Today, for me, it's a video day. I don't have anything else planned. I'm sitting here with the crew. We're filming videos. Can you imagine if I was sitting here filming videos and having to balance emails and then clients calling? It would make sense. I wouldn't get anything done. I would have a successful day in what needs to be done. And here's the crazy thing. When we're done filming, I'm shooting to get my kids. I'm going to the football field. We're going to go throw the ball around for about an hour and a half. Everything else I got to do is going to wait till tomorrow, right? And that's okay. But that constitutes for me a successful day today. You got to understand how to prioritize and organize and create what that looks like, which leads us to part 3, block time. Block time is one of the oldest things that anybody talks about with scheduling, but one of the such misunderstood information around it. Like most people don't get what block time. Block time is essentially here's a block that has some time. Something's supposed to be done in that time. Do that something. But most people don't have any clue what's organized, no priority, there's no organized. So what they do is they show up to the window of time and go, I'm supposed to work on something. What part of that something? What's something? And then what part of the something? Say you want to launch a podcast. Great. It'd be a great thing as a coach. You can't put on Wednesday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Launch podcast. You know how many pieces are part of a podcast to get launched? Like it ain't gonna happen in a 2-hour window. I'll give you a 5-hour window, it won't get done. Maybe if you work with me. But the idea is you gotta have an idea of what goes into that so that you can have your life organized and say, here are my blocks to work. And then I've organized the project, the podcast, and said, it's gonna take 10 1-hour blocks. Great. Take that 1-hour block, pop it in. In that hour, you work on that one piece and then do it. That's block time. Be surprised how many pieces and how many different things must be done before that can take place. We're not going into that today, but you got to block time, structure things, organize it so you know when things will get done, which means you can operate with peace knowing the rest of the things are scheduled, and you know how to focus in that window to complete the task at hand, to eliminate some of the to-do list stuff, and free yourself up to keep momentum. You got to have block time as part of the way you function as a human on a daily basis, or you fall apart. Number 4 is set a realistic window of time for each thing. You can't, like I just talked about, you can't have a podcast and go, I'm going to do a podcast on tomorrow. I got an hour to launch the podcast. That's not going to make sense. You got so many things that go into that. You have to think of the topic of the show and create the intro, create the outro, record the intro, record the outro, find how to post it, where you're going to actually load the podcast out. What do the episodes structure look like? Plan the episodes, record the episodes, edit the episodes, get cover art made, all these different pieces. And most people don't allocate or set realistic windows of time. And then you go and try to get it all done that day you said you would. It doesn't get done. And you feel guilty and shameful because you didn't get it done when you promised yourself you would. Yeah, because you didn't set a realistic window of time. But if you understand how to do that and clear things out and organize stuff and pay attention to the time it takes, you can give yourself much more success, much more traction, momentum, and you maintain emotional energy to keep moving because you feel good being able to make progress. You become a person that can be at peace with each piece. Right? I'm at peace today when I'm done and when I'm doing this stuff, knowing that this piece got done, Even though everything else isn't done, I'm still at peace because this piece got done in the time it was supposed to. And the other ones will get done in the time they're supposed to. It's very straightforward, but you have to organize this. But set realistic time frames so you know how long something might take, plug it in properly, and move forwards. Which takes us to point 5. The simplest one is journal your thoughts. Right? All these things I'm talking about right now, as a coach, we will get into conversation, get into experience, and really what we're talking through and teaching is our life experience. But we go by the experience, we see what's going on, and we don't take note of it. I think a lot of people don't realize that wisdom isn't something that just takes place from experience. Wisdom is something that's seasoned over time and us paying attention and watching it for so long. The best coaches have wisdom because they've done a couple things. They have taken life on, head on, figured some things out, solved it, and then went back and said, what took place there? And the way that they found that was they journaled, they wrote things down, they had thoughts that went to paper, they took some time to uncover what lesson they didn't realize in the moment of the situation, but they extracted later on. And in extracting it, they could say, oh, okay, I saw this and learned this. Now I can make a cool video on this. I can make a piece of content, let's say written a blog on this. I can go ahead and make a whole course and teach this solution that I didn't realize I had simply because they took note and they actually saw something that in the moment their brain didn't see. It's about, sometimes traveling back in time and like doing, think about it, Back to the Future. Go back and go, oh, I didn't know, but in the middle of this took place. That could have meant this. Oh, it could have, wow, I got a new idea to share with somebody in the world. So if you can simply take pen to paper or type something out, you can even voice record your journal, but go in the process of thinking through extracts new ideas. And if you want to take it a step further, go read that thing. Go listen to it later. You'll listen and read with different eyes and different ears because they always say the man can never step in the same river twice because the man is not the same, nor is the river as it flows, right? You come back to different things with new insights that inform you of different situations, but you got to do this. So if you need help with this, it's something we do in our GPS planner. This is all stuff I'm talking to, but I actually teach. But it's a whole different conversation for a different time. Right now, those are your top 5 ways to schedule your life if you were a coach.